We're here to have a meal.
Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Now, for the record, Portugal, not my favourite place anymore after what happened yesterday. What a mad night it was. Ugarte going most likely to PSG, and it seems that they are getting revenge for Hakim Ziyech. Yes, that's right. The paperwork's collapsed, and so did our deal, because these guys have taken really revenge on us, and the ultimate punishment is, yeah, you thought you had personal terms agreed, and yeah, you thought that, you know, we were going to raise it to 5 million euros and you're going to go to 3.5 million euros, and the difference is maybe not as vast, but no, we're now going to bump that right up to 10 million euros per year, and we're going to pay him around about 187k to 200k a week, and you are going to have to hold that. And then Chelsea pulled out of the deal, according to last night's reports, and basically said, we're not going that high. We are not paying Ugarte almost 200k a week. And you know what? Fair enough. It was looking like the deal was going to go above and beyond the release clause as well, due to installments, because that's what everybody was pushing it to. And then on top of that, the wage was going to be astronomical for a player that really has still got more to prove. So Chelsea decided to bow out. I don't think we've been rejected. Do you know what I mean? If you get, you know, you put yourself at the bar and you say, do you know what? These prices on this menu is not stacking up, it's not making sense. It doesn't mean that you don't have the money to pay for the food, for the wonderful meal. It just means that you don't see value for money. So listen, we move. If we get alternatives, then this will all go under the carpet and we'll move on swiftly. But it is Pochettino, one of Pochettino's targets at least, and that is a disappointment. The biggest disappointment for me is that it is someone that Pochettino seems to like. It is someone that was on the list for Stuart and Winstanley for months, reportedly, and of course would have given great freedom to Enzo early doors, but we don't have that, so we move. And Caicedo and Lavia are the two players that have been kind of put out there immediately. Caicedo has been going for weeks, for days. You know, Fabrizio continuously keeps telling us to keep our eyes open. I've got 4 eyes. I've got 4 eyes open. 1 eye open when I'm sleeping. I've got 4 eyes open when I'm awake. I'm watching this story. It better come to something, Fabrizio. Do you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, fair play, Fabrizio. Fair play to Fabrizio. Do you know what I'm saying? I went on record with Portugal and Fabrizio said, no, you listen to me. I am the captain. I am not the captain now. I have always been the captain. So fair enough. And when I catch record Portugal, oh Lord Jesus, when I catch you lot, I might catch a flight for you lot. But anyway, listen, incredible scenes. So Caicedo, listen, we've spoken about Caicedo on the channel. We've spoken about Lavia, both these players on this channel before already in terms of midfield options. Both of them having played in a double pivot this season. Obviously, we know most likely, almost 99% sure that we're going to play a 4-2-3-1 this season under Pochettino. And Caicedo has been playing in a double pivot alongside McAllister for the majority of the season. Apart from the times he's been shafted out to right back to cover for pacey wingers. And of course, Lavia has been playing alongside, you know, James Ward-Prowse in that 2-man midfield for Southampton. So both of these players experienced in playing in a double pivot, having a partner. But the key thing, and I have to stress this, that both these players do shoulder more defensive responsibility than their said partners in the 2-man pivot. Both Caicedo and Lavia are tasked with holding it down, with being the defensive-minded midfielder. And Caicedo needs no convincing, it seems. Listen, it's going to cost a lot of money, but a lot of people are incredibly impressed with the versatility of the player, just the overall attributes and qualities of the player in the first phase. Both players, for me, impressive in the first phase in terms of picking up the ball and, you know, circulating it, being able and confident to take it in those tight spaces. Tackles and interceptions, of course, Caicedo is killing it at the moment. Lavia, the numbers are not as impressive, but it's very important to mention. I've seen some Lavia slander recently. I'm not really sure why. When I've seen him in little glimpses and moments, he's very much impressed me. Now, Lavia is only 19 years old. I definitely get it that if we were to only sign Lavia in midfield, that's a massive risk. Yes, there's talent. Yes, there's potential. But to put all of that responsibility on a 19-year-old to start week in, week out would be crazy and probably quite naive. He needs that development, that rotation, that slow bedding into a Chelsea team where the level just goes up much higher and the expectations and the pressure, of course, come with that. Caicedo, a lot more ready-made for people in terms of instant upgrades in that midfield and going straight in. But Lavia, I have been impressed when he's played, so I'm not really sure where this slander's coming from. I'm not going to lie, I watched him against Arsenal at the Emirates. Goals went flying in as soon as he came off that pitch. I've seen him against Manchester City. I've seen him against us at the Bridge. All these games, big games against tough teams, he impressed. Brilliant in close control in tight spaces. Winning the ball back, winning aerial duels if need be. Listen, both of them for aerial duels are not, touching your Declan Rice's per se, but they are contesting. Caicedo contesting just slightly better. Same with tackle success rates, of course. But Caicedo is the better player at this moment in time, so that doesn't surprise me. But Lavia has got potential, and I think it's very harsh to judge Lavia also purely, one, because it's his first Premier League season, and B, because he was in a shocking, awful Southampton team that got relegated. He played for a Southampton team that were the worst team in the league, and even then still, in his first Premier League season as a 19-year-old, he still managed to actually show a lot of signs of promise and potential. So you couple that up with a manager like Poch, who is known for developing and kicking players onto the next level. I think that's a good marriage. Now, he's not going to be cheap. Both of these players aren't going to be cheap. Caicedo is looking at minimum 75 to 80 million. Lavia is probably going to be minimum 45 to 50 million. People that were speaking about the competition in midfield and why they maybe had hesitations on signing Caicedo and Ugarte, because why would you sign two players for one position? One of them is going to be on the bench. You have the same situation here. Both are still going to be expensive. Lavia is not going to really be much cheaper than Ugarte was, but you could say Lavia's maybe got more patience to be on the bench at 19 years old as a teenager, as opposed to Ugarte, who's going to expect to start games. Now, people have been asking me to speak on Cassidy a lot more, and Andre Santos, both of them obviously in the under-20s World Cup out in Argentina, performing for their national teams. For Cassidy, on loan at Reading in his last stint there, now with the Italian team, obviously the under-20 captain. Definitely a physical player. Looks like physically the attributes are there. Wins his headers. It seems like he can do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Aerially, this guy is winning headers, scoring headers. That is some physicality that can be brought into the midfield. I am cautious on getting too overly excited with these players, because I do believe their physical attributes are so incredibly, impressive at the level they're playing at and at the age group they're playing at, that they are going to dominate the games that they're playing in currently at this level with this age group. Same with Loftus-Cheek and many other players that have these massive growth spurts and just they just tower over the opposition players around them. Cassidy is that kind of guy. He's a big lad, and he's a strong lad. He's a tall guy, and for me, like I said, I need to see him against grown men. That's when you're really going to see the moments and the learning curves coming. But I would say another loan is needed for him, probably even in the Championship, to be honest, like a proper full season in the Championship, similar to what you saw within Ian Maatsen. Absolutely smashed it in the Championship this season with Burnley. Does look like he's possibly going to be going as well. Andre Santos could potentially need a loan as well. But if they come in, the two of them, one of them potentially massively impress Pochettino, you never know, they might get that fourth slot for that double pivot position. But both these players have an eye for goal. Both these players are good at getting forward and contributing to giving us goals. Kind of screams that maybe in a 4-3-3 they would actually be maybe better suited, because they'd have that license to get forward a little bit more. But they do have the physicalities, and they're so young that they can be moulded into defensively giving us something as well. Like a Loftus-Cheek kind of had to slowly become a more defensive-minded player and become that double pivot type player. So I wouldn't be ruling that out, but they do have an eye for goal, both of Andre Santos and Cassidy, and I wouldn't want to lose that goal threat considering the lack of goals in this team. And like I was saying finally on Ian Maatsen, Burnley, he had a great loan there, but his contract runs out in 2024. There isn't all hope lost. There are reports that he could maybe hopefully extend his contract and then go back out on loan again. So I'm not saying that he's definitely going to be sold, but there is a profit for a player from Cobham in him for a 25-30 million, and it goes straight onto the books, and that is a problem because he's a good player. But if we get a buyback, at least you can say that there is hope. There is hope that he could come back one day. Listen, it's all in hindsight. People will say now, why did we sign Cucurella? There wasn't many people disagreeing with signing a left back. I'm not saying Cucurella was people's choice. That was definitely an overinflated massive fee that we paid, 62 million. Obviously, we know Levi Colwill was involved in that as well. But most people are saying we need to sign a left back because of Chilwell's massive injury. So there's no point running back the clock now and changing everything and being hypocrites. At the end of the day, Ian Maatsen has developed. Yes, he's had loans at Charlton. He's had loans at other clubs as well. Not springing to mind currently. But the point is, Burnley was his big loan. That was the one where now we're saying, okay, this guy's ready. too little, too late. Probably should have maybe gone for a stopgap, someone cheaper. You know, last summer, like a Kyle Walker-Peters, played both fullback positions. Reece James is injury prone, Chilwell's injury prone as well. You get, you know, kill two birds with one stone. You get a cheaper player, and then it's not so difficult to either sell that player or to, you know, integrate Maatsen and put Kyle Walker-Peters to the right. Obviously, Gusto doesn't come then. So there's other ways we could have gone about it. We know that. We've admitted it. We know last summer was a little bit of a sketchy one, but it is what it is. We learn from it. We move from it. The one last final thing I do want to say on Brighton and on Caicedo. Now that the Ugarte deal is off and Caicedo is quite clearly our, you know, at least at the moment, our leading target, and Fabrizio can't stop talking and tweeting about it, Brighton are going to make us pay. They're going to make us move heaven and hell, heaven and earth, or whatever the saying is. They're going to make us do backflips and front flips and all types of flips that Aubameyang would, in this day and age, land on his front. You know, he really wouldn't complete the flip. But the point is, it's going to be tough to do this deal, because I know Brighton, and we know Brighton want Levi Colwill back. And the last time they wanted Levi Colwill, they made us pay a lot of money for Cucurella. And now Caicedo is someone that we're looking at, and we just know Brighton are going to be bastards about this. And just prepare for that. It's not going to be fun, but here it is. This is what we must do. And obviously there's other options as well. I want to give a quick mention to Youssouf Fofana. Let me know what you guys make of that player, Youssouf Fofana, in the comments down below. Obviously plays for Monaco. There are ties to Monaco with Lawrence Stewart, so maybe some interest there. We know Joe Shields will be absolutely loving life right now. He's a big fan of Lavia, brought him to Southampton from Man City when he moved across, and he's been kind of moving on the Instagram of Caicedo, little screenshots here and there. I'm pretty sure he follows the player, and he has been in a couple comment sections. So he's clearly a fan of the two players that are maybe leading the race right now to be the next options in midfield. But like I said, Fofana at Monaco, there's a little link there of Lawrence Stewart. I wonder if a player like that will pop up as an option. And there may be a couple of others as well. This is kicking off, guys. It's a crazy window. It is going a bit mad. It's going berserk, but we're here. Do you know what I mean? We're surviving, we're living, we're thriving. And until next time, make sure you smash up the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.